Hey everyone, welcome back to the Screen Review, your go-to destination for deep dives into the latest cinematic experiences. Today we're exploring Sinners, the latest film from acclaimed director Ryan Coogler, known for his work on Fruitvale Station, Creed, and Black Panther. In Sinners, Coogler ventures into new territory, blending historical drama with supernatural horror. Set in 1932 Mississippi, the film follows twin brothers Elijah Smoke and Elias Stack Moore, both portrayed by Michael B. Jordan in a compelling dual performance. Returning home after years in Chicago's underworld, the brothers aim to open a juke joint in their hometown of Clarksdale, seeking a fresh start. However, their plans are disrupted by a sinister force that threatens their community. The supporting cast includes Miles Caton as their musically gifted cousin Sammy, Haley Steinfeld as Mary, a woman from Stack's past, and Jack O'Connell as Remick, a mysterious figure whose arrival brings unforeseen challenges. The film's rich tapestry is further enhanced by Ludwig Göransson's evocative score, which draws inspiration from 1930s blues music. Sinners has garnered critical acclaim for its unique genre fusion and has become a box office success, grossing over $345 million worldwide. If you're intrigued by films that seamlessly blend historical context with supernatural elements, Sinners is a must-watch. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get straight to it. The performances in this film are nothing short of phenomenal. Michael B. Jordan delivers a career-defining turn playing twin brothers Elijah Smoke and Elias Stack Moore, and what he pulls off here is absolutely jaw-dropping. It's not just the physical transformation or changes in voice. Jordan manages to craft two entirely distinct, deeply human characters who happen to share a face, and he does it with a level of nuance and emotional intelligence that's rare to see in dual roles. Within seconds of each scene, you know exactly which brother you're watching, not through flashy tricks but through posture, tone, rhythm, and an almost invisible shift in energy. Stack moves with a kind of calculated charm, while Smoke carries the weight of lived-in pain, and Jordan plays both with equal honesty. It's the kind of performance that reminds you how good he really is when he's given something rich to work with. And then there's Miles Caton, who honestly steals every scene he's in. As the cousin's musically gifted younger relative Sammy, he brings such a raw, magnetic authenticity that it almost feels like you're watching a real blues musician pulled straight from the 1930s. His musical performances aren't just good, they're soul-shaking. You feel the weight of every lyric, every note, like the music itself is a form of storytelling just as crucial as the script. Caton's ability to communicate heartbreak, hope, and history through music alone makes his role one of the most memorable in the film. Every scene he shares with Jordan crackles with a mix of tension and tenderness that gives the movie its emotional backbone. Together, Jordan and Caton create a rhythm that carries the entire film. It's intense, emotional, and utterly believable. If Sinners had nothing else going for it, which it absolutely does, it would still be worth watching purely for these performances. Ryan Coogler teams up with cinematographer Autumn Durald, and the result is a film that feels both grounded in gritty Southern realism and elevated by bursts of surreal, almost mythic imagery. Every frame of Sinners feels deliberate, like it's part of a larger visual language that fuses period drama, Southern Gothic horror, and musical spectacle into something totally unique. The lighting is rich with amber tones and deep shadows that make the Mississippi Delta feel timeless, haunted and alive all at once. But let's talk about that scene, Sammy's big performance. It's the kind of moment where the film just transcends. The camera glides through the juke joint like it's dancing, along with the music, capturing the crowd in slow, hypnotic sweeps before locking onto Sammy in a spotlight that feels downright biblical. The colors explode, warm reds, deep blues, golden highlights, creating a kind of magical realism that blurs the line between stage and spirit. It's a genre-fusing, emotionally overwhelming crescendo that somehow blends musical, spiritual, and even horror elements into a single, unforgettable sequence. Durald's lens doesn't just observe, it feels. You're not just watching a performance, you're being pulled into Sammy's soul. That one scene alone is worth the price of admission, and it's a perfect example of how Sinners uses cinematography not just to set a mood, but to tell a deeper, more visceral story. If you're someone who notices the visual storytelling in film, this one's going to stay with you long after the lights come up. Alright, let's talk about the pacing and atmosphere in Sinners, which for me are two of the most defining aspects of the film's identity. The pacing in the first half is definitely on the slower side, but honestly, that might be one of its strengths. Coogler seems intentional about letting scenes breathe, giving the characters and the setting time to settle into your bones before anything overtly supernatural starts happening. That early stretch, before the horror elements kick in, feels like a rich, textured Southern drama, and I actually preferred that rhythm. It's patient, deliberate, and builds a real sense of emotional investment. Once the horror starts creeping in, the pacing shifts gears, and while the tension ramps up, I felt like some of those sequences in the third act dragged on a bit too long, especially when the film leans heavily into its genre tropes. It's not that they don't work, they do, in moments, but they don't always match the tighter storytelling and momentum of the setup. That said, the atmosphere is near perfect across the board. When the film wants to feel dirty, sweaty juke joints, muddy back roads, peeling wallpaper, you can practically smell it. When it wants to be alive and rhythmic, it pulses with music, laughter, and color. And when it turns ominous, it gets oppressively dark, both visually and emotionally. The tonal control Coogler and his team maintain is honestly masterful. The world of Sinners always feels cohesive, no matter how many genres it's pulling from. Even when the pacing falters, the atmosphere keeps you locked in. It's the kind of film where you don't just watch the story unfold, you live in it. So, let's talk about the rewatchability of Sinners, which is kind of an interesting balance. From a twist or mystery perspective, it's not the kind of film that demands immediate rewatching once you know how things unfold. The plot reveals hit hard the first time, but they don't necessarily beg to be dissected again and again. That said, the film does have strong rewatch value in other areas, specifically the performances and the music. Michael B. Jordan's dual role is so layered that a second or third viewing actually helps you pick up on the subtle distinctions in how he plays each brother. And Miles Caton's musical moments? Totally rewatchable. Those scenes feel timeless, like live performances you'd want to revisit just for the vibe, the sound, the soul. The film doesn't lean on shock value to keep you coming back. Instead, it invites you to return for the artistry. For me, this is one of those movies I can see myself revisiting every few years. Not something I'd throw on casually, but one I'd return to when I want to re-immerse myself in its mood, its craft, and especially that unforgettable atmosphere. Sinners is a rich, genre-blending film that thrives on mood, performance, and visual storytelling. Michael B. Jordan delivers a powerhouse dual performance that anchors the emotional core of the movie, while Miles Caton nearly steals the show with his magnetic musical presence. Visually, the film is stunning. Autumn Durrell's cinematography swings effortlessly between gritty realism and lyrical surrealism, especially in Sammy's genre-fusing performance scene, which is an absolute standout. The pacing may test some viewers' patience early on, but I actually appreciated the slow burn setup more than the horror-heavy third act, which, for me, dragged in parts. Still, the atmosphere is nailed from start to finish. Whether it's grimy, joyful, or deeply unsettling, the film always feels exactly the way it needs to. It's not the most rewatchable film from a plot or twist standpoint, but the stellar acting and music give it lasting replay value. I could easily see myself returning to it every few years just to soak it all in again. All things considered, Sinners is a bold, beautifully crafted film that sticks with you, and in my book, it earns a strong 9 out of 10. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Leave it in the comments below, and let me know what I should review next. Thanks for stopping by.